This is the fourth talk in the series of leading up to Easter, where Jesus was taken to the cross. I'd like to thank you for joining us and for watching this presentation. And this particular one, this fourth section in the story, focuses on the betrayal and arrest of Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane on the Mount of Olives. And I'm going to read two verses, and they're from Luke chapter 22, verses 52 and 53. Then Jesus said to the chief priests, the officers of the temple guard, and the elders who had come for him, "Am I leading a rebellion that you have come with swords and clubs? Every day I was with you in the temple courts, and you did not lay a hand on me. But this is your hour when darkness reigns." So we're coming to this time where it's nighttime, Jesus is with his disciples, but one of the disciples, Judas Iscariot, one of the inner circle of Jesus's close group, has gone to the religious leaders and betrayed Jesus. And he has said, if you follow me, I know where he will be with his disciples, and he will take these leaders of the and servants of the high priest to arrest Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. Who was Judas? Who was this person who had seen Jesus raise people from the dead, who had seen the storm calmed on the lake, who had seen sight restored to the blind, who had seen the water turned to wine? Who was Judas? Well, Judas was one of Jesus's chosen disciples. And Judas was a man who wanted more. He wanted power. He wanted position. And he felt that by following Jesus, he could achieve something for himself of value. And as he got to know the true Jesus, disappointment and disillusionment set in, because Jesus wasn't going to be a king in the way that he wanted him to be. He was going to bring in a new kingdom, a different kingdom of peace, of rule in people's hearts. And so he'd gone to the authorities to hand Jesus over. And they'd come at night to this place where Jesus was. Now, the Mount of Olives was a mount overlooking Jerusalem and where they grew the olives. And Gethsemane is actually the name of a wine press or an olive press. And you can imagine that this olive press, Gethsemane, which that represents, squeezed the olive until the oil ran. So that was a very powerful, poignant place where Jesus was arrested. He was under great pressure to follow his Father's will, and yet he felt in his own heart shrinking from the task. So the religious authorities had set this group to arrest him. And the question hangs over this whole story. Why did Jesus not resist his arrest? Why didn't he say, look, it's all over. I know what you're looking for. I'm just going to go for a quiet life. Why did Jesus not resist? The first reason, I believe, was that he wanted to be obedient to his Father's will. Jesus' whole path of service and obedience to his Father's will, he came to show love from God to us. And the second thing is the reason he didn't resist was that sacrifice is at the heart of love. And the third thing was the only way that God could release us from the tyranny of sin was to take that sin upon his shoulders. And that tyranny of sin, the weight of that, the price of that had to be paid. And when somebody makes an error and breaks the law and does something wrong, a loving God is also a just God, and he can't just turn a blind eye. Something has to be put in place to make allowance and to what we call atone for that wrongdoing. And Jesus was willing to step into the gap and take our sin on the cross. And that's why he didn't resist his arrest. And tomorrow we'll hear more of this story. But I'd like to thank you for listening, and God bless you, and we pray that you'll enjoy the next video in the series. Thank you.